Welcome to the Pocket. My name is Scooter, and here for you guys today, I got a little bit of a special video. It's going to be my first time doing it, and that's going to be moneyline picks. So far this season, I've been doing a great job. I've had a lot of success. So I want to share it with you guys, not just on the Instagram page. Follow me at the_pocket_NFL if you want to see that. But on that page every week, I've been posting moneyline picks for Thursday night and for the whole rest of the week. And I've been having a really great time doing it. It's something I've been doing for a really, really long time, a couple of years, all the way back to my sophomore year in high school. So it's been almost 10 years that I've been doing this. And I think I've definitely gotten pretty good at it. And the results are showing. At this point, I can do a recount and I can show you guys proof or whatever. But currently, before the start of this week, where I got the Steelers Browns game wrong, I am 107-59. Now that would place me at 10th in expert picks. Ahead of me would be guys like Matt Bowen, Doug Burrell, Mike Clay, Ryan Wilson, Stephania Bell, Lindsay. I don't know how to say her last name. Apologies. Eric Moody, Leo Sells, and then I'm just ahead of Jamie Eisenberg. So I think it's pretty awesome. I'm very proud of how I've done so far. But like I said, I want to get into these picks and give you guys my actual thoughts on why I make these picks. Now, this week I did something a little different. Normally, I look at the Vegas projection and then I kind of base that mixed with my preconceived notions about the game to come up with my score prediction, which will give you, obviously my take for who's going to win. It'll tell you what I think about the spread and the over/under. So it's 3-1. Getting the score out there is really a good thing to do for your audience. So as I stated, I was a little late on the Steelers-Browns game. I try my best to get all this content out there, but sometimes life just happens. So if this one's got to be voided, then you can say what you want, but I would say include it because I got it wrong. I said Steelers 21-14. Kind of underestimated how bad the weather would be. Even then, though, I still don't think I would have picked the Browns. But nonetheless, we're going to move on to the next game. So the first one up that we're going to talk about is the Titans traveling to Houston. Now, Houston is an 8-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 40.5. In this game, I'm going to take the Texans to win. They're clear favorites, but I think it's fair to take them to win with supreme confidence, and I'm going to take their spread, Houston -8, and that score prediction is 27-17. So that would also be the over the combined total of the points scored by both teams. The Titans have a pretty good defense. They, even though they're a pretty poor team, their offense has been the problem all year. But their defense, they made some moves, adding, I believe it was L'Jarius Sneed, the cornerback. He's been a big help for them. But in the end of the day, the Texans' offense is not one-dimensional. They can not only pass the ball with C.J. Stroud to guys like Nico Collins, Tank Dell. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore, but they still got Dalton Schultz and John Mechie and Bobby Trees. So obviously their passing game is good, but the big thing for them this year has been the run game with Joe Mixon. And what they've been able to do with him has really elevated the floor of this offense. So I think even going up against a tough defense like this Titans team, I still think they're going to win comfortably by 2 scores and cover the spread of -8. So then again, it is Houston 27-17. Moving on to the next game, we got the Vikings taking on the Bears. So for this one, the Vikings are 3.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 39. I hate the 3.5-point spread. That is one of the worst spreads to bet on, and the reason for it is because a lot of games are decided by field goals, right, or by one team scoring a field goal and the other team responding with a touchdown. So if those are the two most common outcomes of a close game, you're literally right down the middle. You don't know which one it's going to be. Is it going to be 4 points or is it going to be 3? You could be right in that you think the game is going to be close, but just wrong in, who scores a touchdown and the other team scores a field goal, or whoever wins just gets the field goal and it is under. But in this game, I am going to take the Vikings to win. But I'm going to take them to win 20-17. So that would give you Chicago plus 3.5, but under 39. I'm a little more confident in the under. I do think this is going to be a low-scoring game. We have 2 of the best defenses facing off in the league. The Bears have been very, very disruptive and hard to pass against. And the Vikings with Brian Flores have done a phenomenal job this year, confusing even some of the best offenses. So I believe the under, like I said, I have a lot of confidence in. But if that's the case and it is a low scoring game, as many of these games have been all year for the Bears, I just have more confidence in the Vikings, their coaching staff, their offense, and their identity to figure out a way to win this game, whether they're losing and they have to come back, or whether they're winning and they have to run the ball and hold the lead. I think they're going to pull it off, but I think this game is close enough to take Chicago plus 3.5 because you never know. The Bears could surprise and win this game. So if you want to place that down as a bet, that would be pretty good. Mix either Vikings money line and the under or Chicago plus 3.5 and the under. And I think both of those are good bets. Up next, we have the Cowboys at Washington. Um, I think there's a lot less to say about this. I think Washington's going to win this game pretty clearly. But I think they're going to win 27-21. So that would actually have Dallas covering the spread, which is pretty big for this game, plus 10.5, over 45.5. So that's a pretty high total as well. But I think we've seen the Commanders this year mostly have a lot of success against poorer teams, right? Teams that aren't quite as good. They don't have a great record against winning teams this year. Like the Bucks and whatnot. That's what I said earlier on the last video I made, covering the Bucks and Giants, previewing that. But I think Dallas has potential to hang around. I think what we've seen from Washington is they still aren't the most talented team, and it can allow lesser teams to sort of hang around. So I don't really see them. Um, Personally, I don't see them covering the spread just because it's a divisional game. It's going to be a little weird. Of course, they absolutely could. Dallas could completely fall apart and collapse. There's actually, quite a bit of bad blood between these teams based off of what Dallas has done to them in years past. But I don't know. It's just kind of the gut feeling I've got, so I'm rolling with it. I'm still confident Washington's going to win, but Dallas plus 10.5 might not be a bad bet. Obviously, they're rolling out Cooper Rush, and they've had success with him in the past. Second week in a row that they're going to be rolling with him. So, as the starter, and this Washington defense hasn't been great. If they can run the ball, then I could see them sticking around in this game, scoring 3 touchdowns. Moving on, we have the Patriots traveling to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 7.5-point favorites, and the over/under is at 46.5. Now, the Patriots tend to, in every game, basically have the under hit because their defense has exceeded expectations this year. And Gerard Mayo, the culture he's instilled, has had this team fighting in every single game, right? And the best way you can fight and stay in a game is on defense, right? Because if you just don't have it on offense, you don't have it, right? But defensively, they've been able to keep themselves in these games. However, I just think this Dolphins offense, especially with Tua back, all their wide receivers and Devon Achane are healthy. Jonnu Smith, he's been getting going as their tight end. So in the end of the day, I still think Miami is going to win. But because it's a lower scoring game, I'm going to take the Patriots to cover the spread at plus 7.5. And I'm going to take the under, 46.5. So my score prediction is Dolphins win, but they win 26-20. Like I said, I have confidence that the Dolphins are going to win this game and they're going to score points. But I just think the Patriots defense is going to do just enough to allow them to hang around and their offense, to capitalize and score some points. Moving on, we have the Chiefs at the Panthers. This game has a huge spread. The Panthers are 10.5-point underdogs, and the over/under is at 43. Personally, I really don't understand this. I know that the Panthers only beat the Giants, right, and the Saints, but I think we can see that over the past couple weeks, they've played much, much better, right? Bryce Young, it seems he's benefited from his time off from starting, and he's starting to build some confidence in himself, and the team is starting to play more confidently. Kansas City's had big spreads all year. Um, they're no longer undefeated. So I think it's very possible that they could stumble a little bit, but I don't think they're going to lose this game. I think they're going to win, but they're going to win 24-20, which means the Panthers are going to cover the spread. This is going to be a closer game. I could look really foolish, and this could be very wrong. I mean, the Panthers are not a good team, and obviously the Chiefs are amazing. But I think why the Chiefs are amazing is not because they have this tremendously high ceiling and they're like the Ravens or the Lions. It's just because they're so steady. They're so hard to catch off of their feet. Every year or so, we see the Raiders or something will will beat them. But in most cases, they might, where they are caught with their feet flat, they still end up winning the game, right? It's just more difficult than it needs to be. So that's kind of what I see happening here. I do have the overhitting over 43. I think that's a pretty low over under for this game. The Panthers defense is not very good. The Chiefs defense is good, but I think the Panthers offense, since it's been looking a little better the past few weeks, they scrapped out 20 points, and that over just barely hits. Although I'm not super confident in the over, but I'm more confident in the Panthers spread or Chiefs money line. Up next, we have a game that I just covered: the Bucks traveling to the New York Giants. If you want more on this game, you can go watch that video. But in short, I'll summarize it like this: the Bucks are taking on Tommy DeVito in his first start for the Giants this season since last year when he went 3-3 as a starter and sort of started this revolutionary movement by the Giants organization to say, "Oh, start Tommy DeVito" and all that. Well, now it's finally here. So Tommy DeVito's out there. He makes the Giants a much more steady team. The team's going to have a different energy. And even though I think they're going to lose, I think they're going to cover the spread, and they will lose 26-21 to the Buccaneers. So that is Giants +6, and that is over 41, which is the over-under for this game. I think the Bucks have a bad defense, and even though the Giants' offense has been terrible all year, I think it'll be much better. Much more consistent, at least with Daniel Jones. There won't be as many missed opportunities. If, say, we get a turnover, he's going to capitalize on it. And that's how the Giants are going to stay in this game, but ultimately lose. Now, up next, we have a game that I had a lot to say about one of these teams last week, and I'm going to carry the same energy going into this week. We have the Lions traveling to Indianapolis, and the Lions are 7.5-point favorites. The over-under is 50.5. I just don't get this. I mean, can we see by this point in the season that this Lions team is clearly the best team in the NFL by a pretty wide margin? I mean, teams like the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bills, they've got great qualities about them, but this Lions team just seemingly really doesn't have a hole, and they come out fired up every single week, and it's like they play better than they did the week before. And you've got teams like the Chiefs as 10-point favorites. The Commanders are 10-point favorites. Houston's an 8-point favorite, but we're not going to put respect on the Lions' name here against the Colts. I mean, I get the Colts have Anthony Richardson, but this Lions defense has forced turnovers all year and mistakes by quarterbacks, and that's been Richardson's problem. So as much as I like Richardson, I don't think he's in a spot to really have a breakout game and stay within 8 points of the Lions. I just don't see it at all. I'm really confused. So this is actually going to be my best bet of the week, is going to be Lions -7.5. Even if you want to do an alternate spread of Lions -9.5 and say that they cover by 10, 11, or even more points, you can go ahead and do that. If there's a team or a game that you're ever going to put down an alternate spread on and it's going to hit, like it actually has a decent chance to, it's the Lions playing against a poor team, which is this Colts team. So I have Lions winning 34-23. That's an 11-point difference. I think that's about where I draw the line at the alternate spread, and that's over 50.5. So if you want to do an alternate total, remember, it doesn't have to be both teams scoring. This Lions team by themselves has been putting up 50 points on the occasion. So don't be afraid to put some crazy bets down on that Lions-Colts game, because that's the team I would ride all year if I were to put down, some crazy bets. Moving on, we got the Broncos traveling to the Raiders. This Broncos team has been hot and rolling recently. They're coming off a great win last week, and now they get to play the Raiders. So should be much easier competition. They're 7-point favorites, and the over-under's at 40.5. I think this one's pretty cut and dry. I'm taking the Broncos to win 27-17. This Raiders team, their season is effectively over. I mean, they've got a lot of promise from guys like Brock Bowers. I mean, Christian Wilkins isn't healthy, but on their defense, they got him and Crosby. But other than that, they really don't have a lot that they can hang their hat on. And I just think the Broncos are so far ahead in terms of, where they are in their rebuild. They got, and you could say they're not even rebuilding anymore. They've got their quarterback, they've got their coach, the defense is playing really well, and they've got a lot of young talent on offense. So I see them easily taking advantage of this game. And I really wish it was -6.5, because I'd say it's a good bet, but I still think you could bet -7 for Denver. I do have that, like I said, 27-17, and that's also going to be the over. Moving on to the next game. This is the, I believe, closest game projected by Vegas this week. We have the Cardinals at the Seahawks. Uh, the Seahawks are 1 point favorites, and the over/under is 47.5. So it's a pretty high over/under. Obviously, I think it's going to be a close game, divisional matchup. Both these teams are fighting for playoff contention, and this is going to be a crucial deciding factor in how that plays out. Now, the Seahawks have recently gotten their feet back under them after getting a little bit more healthy, and the Cardinals have they've caught some fire, right? They've been on a nice little winning streak recently, beating some good teams. So I think the Cardinals are going to come out with this one, and they're going to catch a dub. 28-27. So that's pretty high scoring. I don't know how confident I am that it's really is going to be that high scoring. I think you could also see like a 24-23, and it just barely misses the over under. But in the end of the day, I think both of these offenses are looking pretty good. Even though DK's been banged up, JSN's been breaking out this year, and Geno Smith's been playing really well in the second half of games. So I think I can foresee like the Cardinals jumping out ahead, and then maybe the Seahawks come back, but they just can't finish it off because I just think Kyler is the best quarterback in this game, and they're really rolling. They have a better run game, in my opinion, better offensive line. Their defense isn't as talented as the Seahawks, and you could even compare the coaching, right? Mike McDonald versus Jonathan Gannon, but I believe in the Cardinals more right now. It's a 1 point game. Take Arizona +1, I guess, if it's a little bit better than the money line. Go ahead and do that, right? And then over 47.5. Up next, we have the 49ers traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. But unfortunately for the 49ers, they will be without Brock Purdy. I believe Brandon Allen is going to be the starting quarterback this week for the 49ers. And this is pretty brutal for them. They really need to win this game. This is another team that's going to be fighting for playoff contention, maybe a wild card spot. So they were really looking forward to playing this game with their starting quarterback and potentially knocking down the Packers just a peg, as they're not winning the division. That's going to be the Lions. So in this game, as much confidence as I have in the 49ers organization, I still think the Packers are going to win, but I think it's going to be close. Give me the Packers to win 23-21. I think San Fran is going to cover the spread of 5.5. I think that's quite a bit. I still think they have the most superior organization in the entire NFL, but I have a no bet on the over/under of 44 points. I don't know. It just kind of seems like what it's going to be. So picking an over/under for that is going to be really tough. So I just have no bet for that. Not much else to say. I mean, we know who this 49ers team is. We know who this Packers team is. But without Brock Purdy, I'm not sure that the 49ers will be able to keep up with the Packers. Moving on, we got the Eagles on Sunday Night Football taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Eagles are 3-point favorites, and the over/under is at 49. The Eagles have been quite hot recently. Their defense is breaking out. Quinyon Mitchell looks like Darrelle Revis is apparently out there. Quintanamo Bay is what people are saying about him and like what his nickname should be. So good for them, I guess, having success drafting well. I still think it's going to come down to the coaching when you get to the playoffs and whatnot. But let's just talk about this game. The Rams, if there's any wide receiver, quarterback, coach combination that could potentially expose this Eagles secondary that has looked so good the past couple of weeks, it's this Rams team. I mean, the chemistry that they have, the maturity, and I think I say chemistry. It's really probably top 3 in the NFL. I mean, all of the best quarterbacks, they don't have like their elite wide receivers anymore, like Josh Allen, Mahomes. They don't have Tyreek. They don't have Diggs. Burrow still has Chase, so that's who I'd say is number one when it comes to, they can expose any defense, right? But I would say Stafford and Kupp and Puka is definitely most likely number 2, especially since there's 2 options, right? And then you have McVay calling the plays. It could even be the best, right? So if there's anyone who's going to, save us Giants fans and make this Eagles team look bad, it's going to be this Rams team. However, I'm just not confident that this Rams defense is going to be able to do enough to stop this Eagles offense. So I do think the Eagles are going to win 24-21, but I have a no bet on the Eagles spread. I don't like the 3 points. If it was 2.5, I would take it, but it's just too close for comfort. But I do think the under is going to hit. This Eagles defense has been playing well, although I don't think the Rams defense is going to do that great of a job containing the Eagles offense. I think they'll do enough to at least like slow them down, keep the score down. potentially force a turnover or two, or it's just been known to do that a little bit this year, but not as much as they've been hot. But yeah, I'm still taking the Eagles to win, so that's your pick there. And then moving on to our Monday night game, the last game of this slate. Lots of teams are on bye. We have the Ravens traveling to the Chargers. The Chargers are coming off a very impressive win against the Bengals. They beat them on, I believe it was Monday night. So here they are again, playing another AFC North team on Monday night. That is probably more talented than them, but perhaps maybe not as well coached. Jim Harbaugh has been really, really good for the Chargers. Obviously, they're doing really, really well, and they beat a very competitive team. Probably their most impressive win on the season, if you ask me, beating that Bengals team. But now they're versing the Ravens, the next step up. The Ravens, I believe they're going to win this game, but I think they're going to win 28-27. Give me that Chargers plus 2.5 spread. I don't like games that are close like this. Taking the spread of the team that's already favored, I don't really see a point. You might as well just take the Chargers spread on the off chance that they lose by a point or two, because then if they win, then of course it hits anyway. This is also going to be the over of 51 points. I think you're going to see a lot of running the ball. So I believe some clock could get chewed up and perhaps the over doesn't hit. But I still think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I don't think either defense has what it takes to really slow down the opposing offense. The Chargers themselves, they might, even if they hold them to like 7 points till late in the third quarter, the Ravens could always score 3 touchdowns in one quarter. So I think that's pretty likely. And then the Chargers have been very, very steady on offense, running the ball and trying to keep it away from opposing teams. So I think they'll be able to keep it close, but give me Chargers plus 2.5. Give me the over 51, but give me the Ravens money line. So that's it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this one. I want to take as much time as I can to prepare for these, but I've been pumping out a ton of videos for you guys recently. I'm trying to, see what you guys are enjoying. Please let me know and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts in the comments if you think I got any of these games wrong, and if you think I missed anything, and then subscribe. Support the channel. You won't miss a video, and I don't think you'll regret it. I put a lot of time into making these videos, and I've enjoyed it very much, and I've been very appreciative of the support. So until next time, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.